Hey everybody, welcome back to the WahooWarrior channel. So it's day 3 of the stay-at-home paint my army challenge that I've kind of self-imposed myself with. I've been doing a couple odds and ends, other things as well, like my online management class and things like that. But I've got this unit done. It's a unit of basically militia. I'm not sure what I think they're, uh, who makes these guys? I don't remember. But they're kind of like Viking guys, and those shield transfers did fit on there just right. Like nice and neat. Um, so I've got another 10 militia to paint after that. They were a little difficult because I had them glued on there. So I got them to paint. Uh, the more I look at the stats for the militia, they're just terrible. But so I got some pikemen. I got a lot of pikemen. I'm thinking next I'm going to work on after I'm done with that other unit of militia is start on these. These are like Russian infantry, and I can look real quick. This company. So those Dark Age warriors were gripping beast, and the Russian infantry are a company called Fireforge, and I like the way they look. The armor is kind of that scale mail, nice heavy looking armor, and I really like the foot guard in combination with pikes. And one of the things you can do with foot guard is you can exchange the shields for free to make two-handed weapon guys. So their armor rating goes to a 4, and they get crushing strength. So I was looking at it because you can see I've got basically 10 guys with great weapons, 5 in front of each of there. I've got 10 foot guard kind of guys, and then I've got 10 guys with spears. So I was looking at the spear phalanx. Since I have so many pikes, I don't see any reason why I'll be using a spear phalanx. I like their stat line. It's decent. Melee 4, defense 4. The phalanx special rule doesn't do much other than can't use Thunder's charge against them. Same as pikes. But then pikes get ensnare. And then heavy pikes get elite, which rerolls 1s. But, so I'm not going to go for any spear, because when I look at the spear phalanx, for a regiment of 20, it's 120 points. For a unit of foot guard, regiment of 20, it's 135. So for 15 more points, I get 1 more nerve, and I also get, I get 3 less attacks, because spears get more attacks, kind of like the pikes. I guess they assume more ranks can poke. And you lose a little bit of attacks, but the melee to hit is 3 up, and the defense is 5. So I'm gonna just go with foot guard with my pikes, and not gonna go, and because I also have pole arm option. And when you look at the Song of Fire and Ice, there's 12 Lannister halberds plus a couple other guys. So I could make a unit of 10 I could actually make a unit of 20 halberds, and I may do that, but I don't really care for the polearm block all that much either. They're a little cheaper. They crushing strength 1 for a unit of 20 is 100 points, 4 up, 3 up. So their defense is terrible, 3 up, 12 attacks. I'd rather go with a foot guard unit and exchange the shields for a two-handed weapon for free. So my defense is 4, and I still get the crushing strength. I got the higher nerve. So now I guess my question is you, if you have an opinion, how do you think I should model these guys up? I could put 10 great weapons all in one block, or I could put like the 5 in the front with some spears, 5 in the front with some spears, and just call them great weapons. Hey Paul, how are you? And so and I put them on these blocks of 10 bases because you can fit those into these little moving trays, and which are pretty easy. Then you make a unit of 20 with 2 put together real easy. And you can even make a horde of 40 if you stick them all together. The pikes I'm going to put in the blocks of 20 because they don't have an option for 10. Oh, not right now. I made a promise I'd paint some Kings of War stuff, and I've been plugging away. So if you have an opinion before I'm gonna do the same thing I did with the other guys. I'm gonna just blue tack these on. Uh, it is interesting. I played a few games. It's pretty simple. From a Warhammer Fantasy background, it's way simpler. It's just so simple. Where Warhammer Fantasy used to be basically a bunch of rule checking and stacking of specials. I have played 3 games last year, and I have an entire army that I've cobbled together. I'm still kind of, I would say, learning, but it's so simple of a game. If you played Warhammer Fantasy, you'll get the idea. The trick would be, this is the whole rule. There's no other rules for like other armies and stuff. So the rules are cake. The biggest thing is I need to play a few more games to get some of the nuances of being able to get the charge off and things like that. I used to have a big Warhammer Fantasy Dwarf army. I wish I still had it because that was one that I really was proud of. I painted it so well. It was gorgeous, but you go to a tournament and the dwarves book was kind of terrible, and it's like I never got any love for my paint job. I mean, a unit or two would get some praise, but it seemed like always the ogres and things like that would get all the great paint scores. I was always very disappointed in that. So, and one nice thing about Kings of War is because it doesn't really matter what you have in the. So if I decided to end up making a horde of something, I mean, I could throw these cats in the back 2 ranks, and nobody's going to care because the models don't change. There's 10, 20, and then 40, and then there's even, like, so if you go to the Kingdoms of Men, actually, I'll go to Dwarf if you're playing Dwarf. So, go to Dwarf armies, and so it's going to be very similar type of stuff. They have the special rules. There's not a whole lot of special rules. All the units have headstrong. So they have what's called ironclads. I guess that'd be similar to the ironbreakers. They have a melee of 4. They hit on a 4-up and they're wounded on a 5-up. Obviously, there's certain strengths that can modify that a little bit, but pretty much it's pretty much it. There's ironclad and iron guard. Iron guard hit on a 3-up and their defense is a 6. So that would be more like the ironbreakers, the super high defense 6, and change their shield. So their unit size is 10 or 20 for those, where the ironclads can be 10, 20, or 40. And depending on the size of your unit, like a 40-man horde gets 25 attacks. It doesn't matter how, you could have 18 wounds on you, you still get the 25 attacks if you haven't wavered or broke. It's interesting, you just keep track of your damage instead of taking models off. It makes playing a second game super fast and easy too. And then they have shield breakers, 10, 20, 40 guys, bulwarkers, whatever those are, 10, 20, 40 guys. So there's generally the unit size 10, they only get 10 attacks and they have a low nerve. 20, you get 15 attacks, a little higher nerve. Then a horde, more attacks and more nerve. So the key is kind of how you make up your units. But there's crossbows and rifles and rangers and sharpshooters and berserkers, which I always enjoyed those in Warhammer Fantasy. And then some units you can't take as a horde, like the berserkers. They're either 10 or 20, but they don't waver, but they die at a certain amount of damage. And I don't remember how many. I actually have an army list. When I went and played those 3 games, it was at Chair, and it was like a local friendly tournament, and it was 2,200 points for that tournament, which it seems like a lot. It kind of goes pretty fast. There's not a whole lot of magic items or anything, so it's just straight up units. The games play super fast. Yeah, because it doesn't really have the points. Oh yeah, it does. Because like I had a horde of heavy pike, that's 270 points. I had another horde of heavy pike, 270 points. So that's 540 points right there. I had 2 hordes of foot guard. Uh, I had some rifle guys. Unit of knights, 2 units of knights. This may be the list I made when I got home after, because this is more like what I'm building right now. As you can see, I don't have any militia in there, so I'm not sure why I'm building them right now. But like I said, I can always throw them in the back rank, because there's like units, the really bad stuff like militias and goblins can take a legion, which is 60 guys, I think. And the way you build your armies is, yeah, you have to take, you can, for each horde you take, it unlocks troop selections or war engine or monster or hero. It's kind of interesting. It's pretty simple. It's it's worth taking a look at. The game played really fast. I won one for sure. I lost the second one, but it was a very, very close one, and it was actually the guy who ended up winning the whole thing. And there were a couple things that happened in that game where me not familiar with kind of the mechanics put me at a little bit of a disadvantage because he was able to get some charges off where I didn't do anything to kind of hinder them with like maybe a throwaway unit or something. So it was interesting. I still almost beat him though. And then the third match, I believe I won that. Yeah, it was good though. I mean, I was in each game. I know that second game there was a few moments there where he was really getting nervous. No, the third, yeah, I don't remember. The third game I may have lost, but I know they're all close. Yeah, take a look at the army builder, drag your dwarves out, blow the dust off them. Put together some movement trays and fire it up. It's super easy to play. The rules are really simple. I think there's maybe a newer rule book out, but that adds some more armies. But pretty much the rules are pretty basic. So, yeah. So anyway, I gotta put these great weapon guys together because I think I have a unit of. Yeah, see, that's what I'm trying to figure out. If I want to run units of 10 guys with great weapons to try to get into the sides, they're good for killing the heavier armored stuff. Just go with 2 blocks of 20 in between my ranks. So I think I'll make these guys up like this with the great weapons on the front ranks. So if I would go into a 20-man block and just symbolize the great weapons, and then another unit of foot guard here, which I could always throw one of these painted up militia squads behind in a group of 20, and they would look like a foot guard unit. They're not that terrible, and they came out really well. So, all right, but I guess I should paint up that militia squad next, or the Viking guys or whatever they are. Kind of want to start working on these though, so I may put that. I don't really need that unit right off the moment, but I got all the paint colors out, so maybe I'll just finish it while I'm at it. All right, well, I'm gonna get back to it, and guys, I'm not gonna paint any of these new things tonight. So if you think of how I should set it up, just go ahead and tell me. All right, you guys, how we going?